Just fuck. There's a.
It wouldn't work, I guess.
I don't like him flipping out those knives.
I don't like you. Can't even control his own Wii. That sounds so bad.
So I guess we can introduce this now.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to what we usually do. We have a friend here today. Because me and Nick are not friends.
Exactly.
We're roommates and associates.
I'm friends with one of them. They get to figure out which one is that.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Hi, I'm Kai. I also do YouTube. My name is All Heart No Skill. I am here with them because they decided to put up with me.
Subscribe to his OnlyFans.
No, well, I mean, I guess.
Actually, coming up, subscribe to Luke's OnlyFans as well. It's under work.
I don't know if there's anything else to add on that.
We're making a calendar.
I dress up like different types of firemen from different states.
You know what? I would not put it past you.
The Clearwater County Fire Department proudly presents.
How do I use items?
The D-pad, up and down.
I have not played Mario Kart Wii in so long.
Oh, one thing I wanted to bring up like 2 or 3 episodes ago that I never did was like would you rather questions. Do you want to do some would you rather questions?
Yes.
That sounds awesome.
I should have been thinking about this before because I was and now I'm not. Would you rather fight a bear or a gorilla?
Gorilla.
Fight a bear or a gorilla?
Yeah. Actually, I'll change that. You don't have to fight them, but would you rather encounter a bear or a gorilla?
Gorilla.
Gorilla, hands down.
Still a gorilla?
There's an easy way out of that. You just act like a gorilla, not like an aggressive gorilla, but a submissive gorilla.
Yeah.
And you just like put your head down and you sit there. A bear will stop at nothing if it's hungry. Everything's food to it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're not exactly like super violent creatures, but if it's hungry, you're fucked.
And you don't want to get in like between its cubs and it.
But what if the gorilla's hungry?
The gorillas are vegetarian, man.
Well, they're not vegetarian. They will eat meat, but like they're not going to. They don't go after the big prey anyway.
I do actually have a little bit of authority in this area. They are naturally vegetarian.
Yes.
Like all animals, though, there's a universal law that if anything's driven to hunger, they'll fucking do what they have to.
I have one for you guys.
Hopefully it's better than mine.
One that caused a huge argument at my job.
Excited.
All right, you have to fight something to the death.
Okay.
Would you rather fight a semi-aquatic bear while in the water, but you have a harpoon gun with one shot?
Semi-aquatic bear?
Yeah, so like it can't like breathe underwater or anything like that, but it's kind of like a polar bear.
Okay.
But like we're going like...
It can swim around.
Yeah, it can swim just fine, but it can't breathe underwater or anything like that.
It can like hold its breath for a decent amount of time.
Yeah. Or on land, open field, a great white shark with legs that can breathe. It can breathe on land. And you will have your bare hands. The legs are proportional to it, but they're oddly human. So it's like they're to creep you out.
Ooh.
This is an important question. You said it has human-like legs.
Yes.
Does it mean it has 2 legs?
Yes, it has 2 legs.
I can knock that fucker over.
That's exactly what I said.
I guess it's like, so would you rather be uncomfortable in land or water? I'm gonna go with your answer too.
Yeah. If it comes at you and gets you, then that's gonna be a problem. Because if it bites you in that first charge that it has, then.
But I feel like it's gonna be so easy to juke.
Yeah.
Also, you missed that one shot on the bear. You're fucked.
You're used to having those legs, right?
Yeah.
So you're fucking way more coordinated.
You might have just got born with those legs.
You never know.
Came out the womb
with
legs.
You said, but they're weirdly human, right?
Yeah.
So that can't be a natural thing for it.
We stitched legs onto it, and it got blood flowing.
That one caused a lot of arguments at work.
I feel like that's a pretty succinct one.
The reason,
unanimous.
The reason it caused arguments wasn't because of the answer, was because I didn't fully specify that the shark could breathe on land, and so some dumbass was just like, "Oh, you can't breathe on land; it's a shark." Okay, I messed that up. I do apologize. Here's me fixing it. Nope, yeah. you already made it that way. I don't like that guy.
That's not the point of the.
He don't work there no more, so I can say that. Fuck you, fuck you, Gavin. There's a million Gavins. You don't even have to censor that.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one.
Okay.
Would you rather sign a contract that employs you to like a McDonald's type workplace for the rest of your life, or
hold on, McDonald's type, like a fast food place that does that kind of thing?
Yes, but your obligations are limited to entry level like fast food. So let's say McDonald's. Yes, you're a crew member for life. Like you can't quit, otherwise like you go to jail or some shit, for example.
Okay.
Or you fucking die. Let's say that, like they execute you. Or you can have any job you want, or say one job that expands into many fields. Say it's one company, but you can do whatever you want. You can learn animation, you can be a pro athlete, whatever, but you only make the McDonald's pay for the rest of your life.
I'll do that one, the second one.
Yep.
Because if I'm liking it, then I will probably be working more hours. So like.
Well, and your limit is like full time, 40 hours a week.
40 hours a week. Okay.
No additional benefits. You have to buy your own insurance.
All right. I would still go with that one because I just like the idea of being able to do what I want and work my way.
I forgot to mention. So the McDonald's job that you sign the contract for, you do get additional pay raises. Like you can make eventually a livable salary.
McDonald's, if you do it full time, could be like a livable thing. Like a lot of people live off of that.
But you can't ever quit ever.
So you have to work till you die?
Yes.
No retirement or anything?
No retirement. You just have to not come in one day because of the big reason.
With the other one, do you have to keep doing that job till you die, or can you quit when you're good?
You can retire if you save for it. But remember, it's $9 an hour or whatever.
Well,
whatever the starting $13 an hour, we'll say at the max.
Okay. I worked at McDonald's, so I could tell you what it is.
Okay.
I mean,
let's say it's not good. That's the point. Let's say the limit is $13 an hour, but adjusting to inflation for the rest of your life.
Oh, it stays at 13.
Yes.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. You can do whatever you want, but you can't make any more money than that. You can save it, but that's all.
You can't do any side hustles. That has to be your only income.
Nope. If they find out, they can't.
Because I was gonna say, if I could if that's my wage, but maybe I make art and then I sell the art.
So basically, it's you can be happy for maybe 10 years, or be livable and try to, because you still get to go home. Remember, at the end of the day, you get a regular amount of time off, because that would just be ridiculous. You'd basically be a slave if you couldn't. So you get a regular amount of time off. Let's say if you book it in advance, you get 2 weeks vacation per year. That seems fair. At the McDonald's one.
With that, I think I would have to go with
McDonald's.
The McDonald's one, because when I worked on the McDonald's here, I did not like that. But I legit enjoyed and was sad to leave the McDonald's from the hometown.
Why?
Because I just enjoyed it. It was a well-run establishment, and I liked the people there. And I would not mind going back. So if I could go back to specifically that one.
Let's say it's random, though. You don't get to pick.
It's random?
Yeah.
I still feel like I'd have to go with that, because after a certain amount of time, that just wouldn't be livable.
Yeah, no.
So the other thing is remember,
I would be homeless.
You sign up. Yeah, you sign up for that, and you get maybe a good 20-year career doing whatever you want for that $9 to $13 an hour, and you still get a retirement and stuff. But you're probably gonna have to do communal living for the rest of your life. You're never gonna have enough to own property.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you can't get insanely lucky. With if you win the lottery or some shit. But that's it.
I'm going McDonald's.
McDonald's?
Yeah.
Did you have an answer for this?
I think I got to do the fucking ride or die with a career whatever I want.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Because if I can do some fucking, I don't know, world-changing shit, or just have the time of my life for a little bit, I'll just save up to move to another country. Well, fuck. I guess I can technically do some kind of remote thing, but I don't mind living in a third world country if it means I can be happy. For career-wise. I don't have a terrible amount of importance or emphasis on money in my life. It's really nice, and fucking, don't get me wrong, I've struggled before. I know what it's like to fucking really not have it when you really need it. But I still stand on the principle of I'm working for me. I don't have to provide for anyone right now. Now, granted, down the road, if I fucking have a family of my own or some shit, I'm I wish I had that McDonald's job. It would be really consistent and nice right now. But at the same time, I don't want to flip burgers until I literally can't anymore.
Mm-hmm. I just conjured up one that I'm curious about, because I haven't thought about my answer yet. Would you rather have all of your emotions, good and bad, extreme and minor, cut in half to where you just feel them half as much?
Okay.
Or would you rather lose 4 of your physical senses?
Emotions.
You get to pick one to keep: vision, sight.
I feel
but
you're losing
I literally
too
couldn't
much.
feel anything. I still have. Touch. I could keep touch, but I'd be blind, deaf, and unable to smell anything or taste anything. I'm gonna go with the physical sense one. Keep vision, and still be able to feel things emotionally. If my entire life was diminished, I was forced to be suppressed, then it wouldn't be worth living. What is the point if everything's just okay to you? That would be like living life as a psychopath.
Here's my thought on that, which is you still get emotion, you just less so.
Yeah.
And
that's a really good one, man.
You have to relearn life itself when you lose all but one of your senses.
Yeah.
Like, literally everything you have to relearn.
Well, if I get to keep one sense, though, like, even if it was, like, if I was blind or deaf, you know, what little joys life can give you, that's everything.
But you still get to feel joy in the other sense. You just don't feel it as strongly.
But, like, you said by half, right?
Yeah. So, like, if there's something that makes you feel just is out of this fucking world.
So let's say, like, it's like the birth of my child or some shit.
You're
I'm
not
just,
gonna,
like, okay about it.
You're, like, kind of happy.
You're not
totally
gonna.
happy.
You're not gonna be like crying and ecstatic, but you're gonna be like, I am happy that I have this child.
You'd be like smiling.
This is a good day in my life.
You would just like care a bit less about, especially the small stuff.
That's-
You just wouldn't care.
No, hold on. Is it like you would like actually care less, or would it be you wouldn't be able to
You would
show?
feel nothing. You'd be like Michael Myers, like, well, you'd feel half of it.
Because
like,
how much you feel emotionally about a child does not automatically correlate to your feelings on this child.
That's true. That's true.
well, yes. So it's like, yes, you could. It's your child. You protect it with your life. But like, part of the thing behind that is that like, that is your entire life.
It's
you
way
know.
more conversation than I was expecting. I'm happy about that.
I'm gonna shed a tear and not feel it every time I look at, you know, like my child or my wife or whatever, and feel all of that, even though I'll never know what they feel like to hold.
Which sense would you choose to keep?
Vision.
Vision? Okay.
That's my primary sense.
I'm taking the emotions. I feel like I can still live my life. I already have immense emotional problems. If something makes me happy, I am fucking ecstatic. But it goes both ways. I get super depressed and sad about things so fucking easily. And like while it would kind of suck that I wouldn't be able to show that level of joy about things again, I could also live without the amount of sadness small shit will bring me sometimes.
Yeah.
It would kind of make life simpler, don't you think?
It would.
It would make life simpler, but I have been like fucking super low before. The only thing to me that changes that is feeling joy once again. You know, it's like a radical answer, but I don't want to trade those little moments for anything, even if I can't fucking experience them to 100%, which is kind of the same thing as the partial feeling, but you never have like a high point in your life. It's just straight across the board. I need something.
I feel like if I took the lesser emotions one, I would be chasing stronger emotions by doing crazier things, doing things that would impact me more emotionally.
Yeah.
Like I would want to have a big family to be able to have emotions with them. I would want to do crazy stuff, like I would want to go skydiving fucking twice a week. I would want to fight a bear. I don't know.
But you have to remember, like every experience, just like how you are now, would be diminished over time based on how you get used to it. You know.
Yeah. So it would be a thing where like I would always chase the next biggest thing and maybe get too far to just kill me.
I think the sad truth is, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Like, that's actually the reality for some people. You know, like, they genuinely can't feel things like other people can, so they do fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Not everyone who's like that. Like I saw a thing. There was a mom who was talking about how she doesn't really feel those emotions, but she has a couple kids. She doesn't love them the same way another mom would, but she still cares about them in a way of wanting to protect them.
Well, yeah, because that's like an instinct thing, but also like, can you imagine like having to tell your kids like, I'm sorry I don't know how to like break this to you, I just don't love you.
But that's why you don't say that to the kid.
Well, granted, but if they ever like confronted you about it,
you don't tell them I don't love you, because especially because in this situation you do love them, just not as much as you probably should.
But it's a trade between lying to your child, which granted is like probably more preferable in most circumstances.
I say right in this scenario, I would say it's better to tell your kid, I love you, I just have a hard time showing it, rather than I don't love you, or I don't love you as much as your mother does.
To me though, like, not be like loving your child, but you know, maybe not always knowing how to fucking put it, or like the right way to say it unconditionally, is for even like 1 second, if somehow you were able to convey that to your child, every other sense in your life like is suppressed except for one, they would know, you know, their life, they would be okay. because of that.
I'm going to put this into perspective, at least the way I'm thinking about this. So imagine, like, especially that first day, you don't have the sense thing where you look up, you wake up, and you just look at the ceiling. All right?
Yeah, you literally can't taste, smell, touch.
You go to get up, but you can't feel anything, but you're not used to this. So your whole body is essentially limp because you don't know, you can't feel anything.
You'd have a lot of medical problems.
You try to speak, and you can't make noise. You try and ask someone for help, you can't make noise. Someone asks you a question, and you just have to stare at them because you don't know how to read lips yet.
Yeah.
That's true.
You couldn't, you'd be like basically paralyzed.
Adjusting to that would take you forever because most people who don't have a sense are either born like that or they lose one sense.
Even that's hard to adjust.
Yes, that is, and in that point, it is awful to try and adjust to that. So you lose 4 senses at any point in your life, but especially after you've already learned how to live with all 5 of them.
Yeah,
that's gonna fuck your life up.
It probably will, but I feel like learning to live again is worth it for me. To feel it.
I've got 2 things to say. Well, one thing to say and one thing to ask to Kai. I think I agree with Kai that I would take the lesser emotions.
Holy shit, I didn't get 12.
We got first, second, and third. That's pretty good.
All right, sorry. Anyway.
I think I agree with Kai that I would have to take the lesser emotions because if I took the 4 senses are gone, that probably would decrease my emotions for at least like a significant part of my life because I wouldn't be able to take in the things that I enjoy so much with these senses.
Oh yeah, you're gonna take a huge hit of depression.
But the thing I want to ask you, Kai, is at what point would you take the senses if it was less senses taken away? Would you take it at 3 or 2 or 1?
I would probably take the senses if I was only losing 2. I need my hearing. So much of my enjoyment in life comes from appreciating music and talking to people. That's one of my big things, is that I love talking to people. Obviously, I wouldn't love it as much in this scenario, but I still love talking to people.
Yeah.
So I also need to be able to talk, and I need to be able to feel, because I've had those like moments where like you let your leg fall asleep for too long, you try and stand up, and it feels like you just don't have a fucking leg anymore.
Yeah.
I can't live like that. But the big one for me there is I am a very physically affectionate person.
Yeah.
And so if I can't even
like embrace somebody,
I can't feel that's happening, it would crush me.
Yeah.
I can lose my sense of smell. It's something I can live with, and I can lose my taste. And honestly, as much as I love food, I could live with that.
Yeah.
I agree.
It just sustains you. I would consider that too. It's like, it just wasn't very important to me. I wasn't even considering it. The thing for me was like mostly the joy, Yeah. Without joy, like, life is meaningless.
I agree. I just feel like while losing half of your emotion will suck, especially for people who need to show that emotion to people. When you put that up against not only the relearn of life, but the absolutely massive hit of depression that is definitely going to give you at least for a good couple years.
Yeah.
I just don't see it being worth it.
It would be a rough go of it.
This is a hard question.
Dude, this is a fucking,
it is. I don't know how
the realest episode ever.
I don't know how you came up with that just all of a fucking sudden.
And that was in like the first, the last like 10 seconds before I actually said it. I was trying to ponder on it really hard. I was gonna say that too. Like, this is the most serious we've been in episodes.
I guess is what happens with me. Who knows?
Kai, you're up next. You got another one?
Oh, all right. Give me a second. I know I've asked a bunch of them at work, and people get really mad at me.
Like, shut the fuck up, man.
Do your job.
I do my job while asking these stupid questions. Okay, this is going to be a much less serious one because we just had this massive one.
Which Ninja Turtle?
No, okay. It's kind of like the first one, just less stupid.
Yeah.
You have 2 options. You have to fight an elephant.
Okay.
Or a crocodile. But when you're fighting the crocodile, it's a saltwater crocodile, so fucking massive.
Yeah.
And you only get a bow and arrow.
Am I in water?
No, but it is, and you can't really hit it super well in the water because it's hiding.
Do we get a bow and arrow for the...
For the elephant, you get an elephant rifle, but elephant rifles aren't known for taking them down in one shot.
Well, the answer is easy then. Well, I guess which one would I rather fight?
That's
how much land is there?
So like between you and the elephant, 30 feet.
Okay. How many shots?
you have 5 shots.
Five
but
shots.
The way that these guns work is you have to individually rack a shot. And if you don't aim right, you're not going to be taking that elephant down.
Yeah. You better have fucking nerves of steel then. Don't miss.
And the thing with the crocodile is you have to kill it. But you can't, it's hiding deep enough in the water that hitting with the bow and arrow is nearly impossible. So you have to try and draw it out and then get through its hide.
So how much like land to water ratio is there with the crocodile?
It's like 50-50.
And like, okay, so what's like the footage for land?
So you're sitting with like a solid 15-20 feet.
15, 20
You
feet.
said it's a saltwater, so are we like on the beach or like on a
It's
shore?
like a beach-like area, but it's like a confined area of like 15 feet. I'm actually going to change that a little bit. It's like 15-20 feet of land, but then a solid like 35-40 feet of water.
Okay.
So it's got room to move.
Yeah.
But so do you.
Yeah.
So do you. But it's a saltwater crocodile. So if you have to get in the water, you have to lure it out.
Does the bow and arrow have like a bad draw weight? I would have to like put all my might into it.
It's like 120, 120 pounds.
120 pound bow? Okay.
Yeah. I could be a dick and give you the Hawkeye bow, but I'm not going to do that.
I'm going to take the fucking crocodile.
I think I agree, just because an elephant is such a beast, and we're small and nimble, but I don't think we're as fast as an elephant.
Well, I do have one of those fucking elephant rifles, but here's the thing. Like, what my thoughts with the crocodile, you have land. You're almost safe as long as you're on land, because they can crawl really fast, but you can, like, walk backwards faster than they could sprint at you, right?
Yeah.
But hold on, how big is a saltwater crocodile?
They're like 20 to 30 feet.
Yeah, they're 20 to 30 feet.
Damn, that's fucking huge.
It's like a Nile crocodile.
So it's going to take up pretty much all of your space.
Yeah.
You're fighting a dinosaur or like a woolly mammoth. That's what your options are.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna be really fucking hard either way, because even though an elephant could like plow you down just by like stepping on you and then you're done.
So let me ask you something. I can't get through the top crust with the bow, right? I have to flip it over somehow.
You would have to find a way to get it over, or just like shoot arrows down its mouth.
Okay.
Or maybe like hit it in the eye. But like, if you're that good a shot,
I will fucking Naruto run across that crocodile, dive under it, and stab it right in the pooter.
What is wrong with you?
You asked. You're like, I didn't.
Not that.
Yeah, I think I would take the crocodile, and I would not use the bow. I would just take the arrows and try to use them. Even though like I'm not gonna get as much strength with it, I won't be able to aim up a shot in the heat of action.
Yeah.
So I would have to just
The thing is, you just have to avoid its mouth, whereas like the whole elephant is a threat.
The crocodile can also whip you with its tail. They can swing those around.
They can like reach around and get you too, but I still feel like on land I'm gonna be quicker. You can cross over a crocodile, whereas the elephant is just gonna stop and turn. You better have fucking nerves of steel. I think it was on one episode of the podcast before. Maybe we just talked about it during a video. Have I shown you guys the Eddie Hall fight? Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
so
we talked about that.
That guy shot on a video one time an elephant rifle, like for reference, is one of the world's largest rifles. And it still fucking dislocated his shoulder. Like an actual fucking giant, the closest thing we'll ever get to a non-human, like humanoid creature, second to the other guy who beat him in the fight, did not succeed at tanking the shot. Like, he was done. He had one shot in him. After the one shot, it fucking hurt his arm. And I'm a regular guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to, without training, take down a fucking elephant.
I mean, there's no way I'm going to be able to take down a crocodile either, but I feel like I have a tiny bit more of a chance with that. You overall, like, in your circumstances, apart from whatever animal you're fighting, are more advantaged to shoot a bow than you are a gun that you have no training with. I guess. I do have a little bit of training, like, with a bow. I've held one and shot one before. Not, like, compound bows, just a simple recurve bow.
Yeah.
But still, like,
have a huge draw weight.
Average draw weight, but, like, you know, you're still pretty strapping young lad. Like, it's going to be easier to shoot
100%.
than, like, bracing yourself. The only thing you actually could fucking do is, like, get on the ground, brace it up against, like, your collarbone, and just take the break.
And just hope to God it doesn't do worse.
Because that dude has fucking 16 inches of meat to stop that blow, and I have like 5.
I got less than that. I'm skinny. I would have to hold it. I would have to like find a rock I pin it up against that and just pull the trigger and hope I save my finger.
And all this time, the elephant, who is a fucking arguably as smart as a human, like cold calculating mammal,
bigger, quicker.
If they could speak, they would just be as intelligent as people. Like the average person. People are pretty fucking dumb.
Yeah.
You're not as smart as you think you are, guys.
Correct. Like goblins out there.
I mean, anyone watching this shit.
Yeah, they can fucking strategize. That it's just like, kind of a mindless dinosaur, which they're also pretty clever, versus like a human tank. The closest thing we'll ever get to Master Chief. I think I've got one. So would you rather be in like a submarine that's a little bit below sea level, so like let's say 15 to like 25 feet, like a regular fucking naval, I guess, like they have like the little looking glass thing they can use, but you're in like international waters and have it depressurized and get like sucked out the side, but just you, so like, and they're like way too far away to slow down and they abandon you. Or you're in like a low flying plane.
Is it death inevitable?
Death is almost guaranteed. People have gone through worse and like somehow managed to survive. People are pretty resilient somehow, but like chances of death are 80% to higher for both.
Yeah, probably more than that.
So it's like you would rather get like basically like the wind pulled out of you by getting just waterlogged and almost drowning instantly, unless you have like a little bit more lung capacity than the average person, or like somehow you get like are just barely conscious enough to float to the surface. Because mind you, like you're probably gonna get kind of torn up out of a hole in the side of a submarine, versus like you get whipped out of a plane. You're not coordinated enough, and you don't have time to like pull a parachute.
Yeah.
So you're gonna hit the ground. Let's say it's like 100 feet or something, which
100 feet is not that far. That's like a low ass plane.
Like 100 feet, maybe like 150. Enough that like it would kill you depending on how you landed. So your chances of death are pretty great, and you only have like a couple seconds to react.
I feel like I would take the plane.
Same.
I am not that great in water. I don't think that I could hold my breath long enough with that panic to be able to get myself to the surface, or like find any other way to save myself. Falling, I could at least like in the couple seconds plan to like, okay, I'm gonna try to land like this or land in that, maybe like a slightly more chance of me surviving.
So I'm way more likely to drown than anything, and like I feel like I have a chance of getting ready to roll, like tuck and roll as I land.
If it was like over a football field, you probably have a pretty good shot, because you have like a lot of just pretty spongy ground that you could fucking roll, like and tank most of that momentum. Versus like the water, you're just gonna get all of your orifices really filled with water really quickly at like a high speed, because it's also going like faster than the speed of a car underwater in nautical miles.
In the fall, is there any, since you're going in a plane, I guess there would be like x-axis motion.
Yeah.
You'd be going kind of that way, so you could roll.
You still have forward momentum, but it's like it's the opposite in the sub, right? It's going forward, you get kind of reverse momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the other thing that I'm thinking about the sub is like, even though you're only like 15 to 25 feet underwater, that's more than most people are used to with like even swimming pools.
Oh yeah.
The pressure, even at that level, is going to be like headache causing, if not hemorrhage causing.
And it's going to try to push the air out of your lungs.
Yeah. Like you're going to be surrounded by pounds per square inch on all sides.
Yeah.
I still think I'll take the water though.
I'm better at falling than I am at swimming.
I learned how to swim last year, so
I'm a pretty good swimmer. I can't believe I'm actually admitting that, because I actually tell most people I do not know how to swim because I just don't like the water. But I don't know, maybe it's genetics or something. I can actually swim pretty good. I feel like, just me personally, I'm not going to be coordinated enough in the air unless it was a skydiving situation where somebody was like strapped to me and forced me to do it right, that I'm just going to be like, I'm going to land on my head or some shit,
Yeah.
Like in the water, I'll take fucking, floating to the top and like spewing water out unconscious, and like there's a small chance I can wake up, provided things happen in my favor, like I don't sustain brain damage or a puncture to my skull on the way out. I feel like my chances are going to be better.
Both these are tough, though. Both these would be really rough.
You'd be a fucking badass, though, if you did walk away.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be walking away from the fall.
No.
If you were able to speak again.
I would probably just take my legs.
The fall would make you do this.
Well, I feel like if you fall and especially if you land like dead on your legs, it's going to be pushing that shit up into you.
Yeah, so you'd have to land like kind of bent.
Your femurs are going to go through your asshole, that's for sure. You'd have to just like Sonic the Hedgehog it and like
be ready to roll.
Pray.
I thought of one that's more of a will you press the button type thing. Like it's just you take it or you don't. So either you keep living your normal life, or you can basically be like a god of a universe that you create. This kind of relates back to our fantasy world talk, like going into...
Wait, say the first thing again?
The first thing is just that you live life normally.
You live life normally, okay.
Yeah, you can just be an omniscient figure in a universe that you can create. Like whatever you imagine, you can have infinite time to create it.
Yeah.
You have knowledge of what this life was, so you can base things off of that. You can replicate this world and just make it ideal for yourself, or you can make something entirely new.
Okay.
You can give things sentience, or you can just make them play to your hand. Whatever you want. Would you take that? Would you want to do that, or would you rather just keep living like this?
Can I do the genie thing where I wish away my own powers in the end, if I want to, and like just be immortal, or not immortal, but be amortal in my own universe that I made?
Yeah, you could just blend in and like be a new human.
Okay.
I'm taking that.
But wait, blend in as in like do I have to know everything that I did? Like at the end of the day, I know I am responsible for all this?
You are the god, so you, with your power, could decide that you want to take it away.
Because I could just make myself forget and live in like an actually peaceful universe, right?
Yeah, you could do that.
I think I'm still gonna be me. Even though I could fucking create like a perfect universe, it's like, it's too much power. I feel like it would probably corrupt most people. And at the end of the day, like, even if I did wish it away and make the universe perfect or whatever, there'd probably be some like fundamental thing about it that this just doesn't feel real or feel right, you know?
I'm taking the god power.
Do you know what you would do with it, or would you just need time to figure it out?
There would definitely be a lot of things that I would try and kind of kink out. Maybe try and figure out that whole mental illness thing. Figure out what the fuck's going on there.
Crack the code on that.
That could just not be a thing.
See if I can just stop that.
Yes. You could say no more.
Because that's one of those things that it doesn't benefit anyone.
Yeah.
I feel it's an unnecessary struggle. I'm already not very happy with the world. You give me a chance to try and make it better, hell yeah.
You think with enough time you could do that?
Hell yeah.
To me, the whole thing is like, it's just the fucking Peter Pan motto. Like, to die would be a grand adventure, you know? Because the only thing that gives things value to me is that they would end. The only reason I would, the only condition that I would take the god power on is if I wasn't directly responsible for creating the universe, and instead I just got to see it in its entirety and then eventually stop existing.
Do you mean you would want to see the creation of new universe, or you want to know everything about
if the universe was created under the conditions that, you know, whether God or the Big Bang Theory or whatever, and I wasn't directly responsible for it, even if I could change it, like, I wouldn't change anything, and I would just use my power to, like, kind of watch it unfold and get to see the finale and everything.
Yeah, you kind of just know everything, have all the answers.
Yeah, because that's more experience, like, that's the opposite of the first hypothetical we had, where it's just like, you know, I literally have the sense of all of it, and, you know, I get to see new life flourish, and I get to see it end, and I get to see, you know, kind of like the cycle in like the endless kind of vastness, and all the little like beautiful parts of it, even if most of it is kind of like cold and blank. Like, I'm pretty sure with like, you know, the intelligence that I have, that I'd probably like just become blind to it. Like, I just like block out most of the fact that it's like kind of cold, empty space, and then just enjoy the little things.
You still think you wouldn't take it?
Under your current circumstances, no, I would just live my life as I would, as I do.
I'm definitely taking the god power.
What would you change?
Well,
apart from the mental illness.
I definitely just get rid of the mental illness thing. A part of what I would try to do is I wouldn't want the world segmented so much.
Segmented as in what?
The continents?
Yes, because I feel like
you keep it Pangea.
Pangea, because the way I think about it is I feel like a lot of bad like thoughts about other kinds of people come from the fact that they're so far away. You look at someone who doesn't live near you and think they must be so different.
Yeah.
That it must be, and for some reason, and for a lot of people, different is bad. Different is wrong.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that because it's just fear of the unknown.
Exactly.
You know? But I mean, because we all kind of come from the earth, it's really like we should get to know it better, you know.
And I definitely think there would be differences. Obviously, it's not going to. There'd definitely be different areas of different that are different. Everyone can experience the different culture stuff.
Basically, you try to guarantee it so that like everyone really gets along at the end of the day.
Yes, because people fighting is like the biggest problem.
Yeah.
A lot of people are dealt bad hands, and then for some people, that leads them to make the world even worse. Maybe not on purpose, but it does.
At the end of the day, that's the thing about like being immortal or being amortal, is in you can't truly control all of it, and you kind of have to accept it for the things the way things are. Like there would still be evil in the world.
There's always going to be evil. It's not something you can get rid of. But if you can try and minimize it, or you could go the route of eliminate free will, I would not want to do that, but it is a route.
And to a certain extent, that just kind of says like you become sentience, your will is everyone's will,
which I wouldn't want.
But also like, yeah, because that's kind of the fun of it, right? Is the bliss of thinking that your choices are truly your own.
Yeah.
And as far as you think they are, they might as well be, right? Because if you think you're doing it and you choose and you quote unquote choose to do it, then what is the difference, right?
I feel like if you're having the thought of, I don't know if I'm making this choice, you're likely making the choice. Because I don't think you'd be having that thought.
I think that kind of beats the whole concept of like, do you even have free will? Yeah. I think that there are ways to control people.
Oh, absolutely.
None of them are ethical, though.
No.
And that's the thing about like being a god is at the end of the day, I know all the choices I'm making are just interfering with what the natural beauty of things are.
In the effort to make the world more unified, do you think you would make the world kind of small, like a bit smaller than Earth was?
Yes. I definitely think that, like I said, I said there definitely needs to be differences, because having everyone be the same would, one, kind of stunt growth in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
However, making the world smaller, more tight-knit. I wouldn't make it this small, but imagine the way we think about Europe. The way that their whole continent...
They're very culturally similar.
...is smaller than Texas.
Yeah.
Within that, you have many different cultures that act very differently. They all have their similarities, obviously, but they're all their own individuals.
And they've always gotten along.
Yeah, with everyone. Yeah, always.
This is true.
Obviously, there's going to be some problems.
Do you think that like making the world more tight knit and kind of like observed, as in like some like, do you think that would promote people to kind of look to you to make things better, even if like they didn't know that their entire universe was created by the will of this one person? Do you think that like because of the way things are going and like they would become kind of reliant on you?
No, especially because even now there are religious people, and there are people who definitely put literally everything into the hands of their religion, which I don't fully agree with, but that's a whole separate argument.
Newsflash: Kai doesn't like religion.
Yeah, that's definitely what I said. But it would kind of be a similar thing. There's definitely going to be people who would see that there's someone out there making changes to the world, trying to fix things.
You think like letting things kind of play out would like make that a default, that people would some small group would do that?
Absolutely, because there's people that do that now.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else, they would see that the world has changed, that the world is smaller and everything, and it would end up leading to definitely some people who would make some weird arguments about things, because again, that's just how people are.
Yeah.
But I would say that most of the world isn't going to become overly reliant on it. They're going to realize that they can't do anything about the changes, so they're going to try and take everything in stride. I feel like it would be a lot easier if everyone liked my changes, obviously.
Would you make them?
No. Free will is important to me.
Thanos it?
This is a little off topic, but I just want to bring this up because there was like the argument for a while of Thanos did nothing wrong, what he did was smart, and I want to kind of use this as like what I would do with my
see, there's a fun go ahead. I also have an opinion about this.
With the way I would want to make the world,
said the internet.
When in the first Guardians movie, when they're all like in the prison, and they're doing like the mugshot thing.
Yeah.
When Gamora goes up, one of the stats that it shows is that she is the last of her race. Her planet died after Thanos went there.
Yeah.
He never bothered to check to see if what he's doing is working.
But that was before he had the Infinity Gauntlet.
True, but he still never went back to see how the planet was doing. He just assumed it flourished.
However, he did cite that he did go back to some planets.
Yes.
He wasn't omniscient. He wasn't like, oh, fucking, because he isn't totally true to his word.
No.
He fucked her and left her to die, basically.
Yeah.
He actually did the kind of the fuck you specifically thing.
Yeah.
Left her alive and nobody else. But that was when he was kind of before he was like a god.
Right, but like he made the choice to go to a planet and massacre half its people.
Yeah.
And then he said, this is gonna make your planet better. And then I don't know if Gamora believed it. I'm assuming that she kind of believed things were gonna work out.
Yeah.
Like her planet wasn't gonna go extinct, but it did. Her planet fell to ruin, and that's because Thanos made a decision based off of nothing other than what he thought, and then never bothered to check whether or not his system worked.
My opinion on this is that Thanos is under the archetype of people who are like, what Thanos did was right, because fundamentally, not that they're evil, but they misunderstand what they're doing.
Exactly.
Because they think that they can play God, and nobody truly can. You know, only fucking God could. And, like, the whole idea behind it is that if he was true to his word, he would have gone back to every planet and checked, instead of just, looking at the good examples.
Exactly. And part of me thinks that he saw the bad ones.
Yeah.
And in his mind, he chose to believe that it was because they didn't submit to his ideals, that they tried to fight back and it ruined their society.
But if there's conditions to be met, it's like kind of the whole argument falls apart, right?
Exactly.
Like, you're not doing it right, then fucking, there is no right way to do it, because if it's like a farm, then it's purely artificial. Like, that life can exist in a vacuum, and you're trying to say it doesn't. You're trying to prove it wrong.
But like my argument there obviously wasn't that I want to do things like Thanos did. It was that I would never look at the work that I would put out there and see it's not working, or not even check. I would always check on the work, see how what I want to implement is working, and if it doesn't work, then you stop it, not fight them tooth and nail.
Look at yourself more than...
Exactly.
This is interesting because this started with my question of, would you want to be the god of a new universe? And you guys took it to kind of question what you would do with that specifically and make a new hypothetical out.
Because it's like, it's kind of everything, isn't it? Like, when you like phrase that question is like, what would you do with like unlimited power?
With quite literally everything at your fingertips.
It's just sort of a philosophical conundrum for me, because I think that power comes from the same place that evil does. I think that they're real in the universe, and that they're kind of lurking in the shadows somewhere, and they come from the same place, because anyone who desires power, not anyone who desires
wink, wink.
power to, I guess, change something about themselves, but to affect the whole universe, is susceptible to the corruption that like it brings.
We're saying you're evil, Kai.
Yeah, I get that. No. I totally agree with that, actually. My thought process of I wouldn't give in to that is entirely on the basis of I don't think I would. That is entirely it. I have no backing for it, and I would love to sit here and say that I would never get corrupted by it. But there's a good chance.
Because you're the god of the universe, you could make that way.
I did not say in my hypothetical that you could not fundamentally change yourself to make you so.
Well, because people really forget, because we're fucking bound by the laws of physics, that you can fundamentally like code. You could bend or fucking invent new rules. Who gives a shit?
Exactly.
You're the god of the universe.
But who's to say, especially, like, I feel like if I don't think to make that change soon, because I'm not always going to think to change that at first.
Because at the moment you have the mind of a human.
Yeah.
Right. So
and it's impossible for us to grasp because we're on this side of it.
So if I get to that point and I start making the changes before I even think about changing that about my mind, I might have already tipped over.
Yeah.
But in my head, right now, I'm telling you I don't think I would, and that's probably entirely false. But I have gotten this far. With keeping my mind somewhat intact, and I can keep it up. but that is entirely on the basis of trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro.
I got this.
There is no backing, and it's likely false. But you have to trust in yourself when you have that kind of if you have that kind of power.
Yeah,
That's a good as argument as any.
You're ultimately the one making the decision.
Here's the keys.
Now, if you hand
Gee,
it,
you Lambo.
now if you actually had the ability to give me this godlike power, and off of that basis you gave me that power, my first act as God would be making you smarter. Because holy shit, that is.
I never
dumb.
said I was a smart god.
Does that mean I'm like your boss since I gave it to you?
Yeah, I guess. Well, that depends.
Supervisor, at least.
Would you be more powerful than me if I did that?
I'm not saying that I would give you this in the hypothetical. I'm just saying, like, this happens to you and you have a choice.
I would
Yeah.
love to be like one of those like pantheon type gods where I'm just really specifically strong in one area.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Like a thunder god or something.
That would be so. I would find the most specific niche.
That's
and be the
power
god
people
of it.
respect. That's the kind of like fuck you specifically power.
I would write the best horror erotica.
What the fuck?
And you could be the god of whatever. Like what I would do is I would probably hand it off to Kai and just be the make it like unable to change. Just implement it as like the one fundamental rule. Which even then he's got universal cosmic power, so he could change that if he wanted. But I would just continue to exist as the thunder god
Lackey god.
and wait. Yeah, the lackey god, and wait for like that one small facet of religion to be proven right, like that believes in me.
Part of me thinks like if I could like, let's say I had the ability to wipe the universe and start over if things don't work out the way I want. I'm not saying I should have that power, but let's say I did.
Yeah.
The very first thing I would do is I would try to make it so that way everyone had that kind of power. Like, obviously, they wouldn't be able to overtake me. I would make it so that way you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But I would try and give everyone immense amounts of power.
Short
and
of changing what you've set in place, just
Yeah.
like unlimited power.
and just see what happens. I know what's gonna. I know what's gonna happen.
You got to be careful because you've just given everyone that kind of power.
But if it's equal, that's not too different from the world we have now.
Even if it's not like equal to you, they're not going to do what you want.
No, and my thought process here is I just want to see what human nature does here. What does the average person do? What does the person at the top do? What does the person living under a bridge do?
Me as a mortal right now, I know what they're going to do.
Absolutely. Things are going to turn to shit, but I want to see how fast they turn to shit before I have to wipe everything.
Yeah.
They're just gonna fucking kill everything.
Fuck
and kill.
Here's the thing, though. Every single person has this, so it's not like the people at the top have the advantage.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen? Is it going to be our side's going to be formed? Is going to be a war? Is it going to be a thing of it suddenly turns into every man for themselves until only one is standing?
Well, they could literally like erase each other from existence. It's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna happen really quickly. They could just like put them outside of the universe you've established because they also have unlimited knowledge with that, and the only thing they can't change is what you say.
There would probably be very few people left, like very soon.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of them would probably merge because when you have that kind of power, you can continue to imbue everything with your will to an extent.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on this? Which side of the fence do you fall on? Do you want to be amortal or immortal?
Immortal. I would not want that power. Too scary.
That's entirely fair.
Too scary. That's your entire argument. It's too scary.
Yeah. Specifically spelled like that.
Yeah.
Pronounced like that.
Too scary. That's actually the way you said it, though. That's not
making fun of my voice.
Making fun of your voice, because you don't actually have one.
I don't have a voice.
You don't have a lisp or a speech impediment.
He doesn't?
No, I don't think so. I think people just bully him because they're fucking ass goblins covered in chocolate feces.
So does that count me because I made fun of him for it?
Yes.
From one comment specifically, I'm a beautiful man, but I speak like I'm deaf. Am I missing something?
That is.
I've shown you that one, right, Kai?
It's one of my favorite things
it's
ever.
fucking fantastic.
It doesn't even make any sense.
It really doesn't.
I don't know your name. Starts with a B, I think. If you're listening to this, what's up? How you doing?
Here's a half compliment. Let me undo that.
Yeah. And the answer is no. You're not missing something. This is me. So take it or leave it. You subscribe to me. I can see that you subscribe to me.
Get off there. So let's say you're starting from the place of like you have godlike power though. Because
what would I do with it?
Yeah, so like, do you choose to just be the mortal for the rest of your life, or do you choose to kind of go creative mode on the ass?
I think I would do something similar to Kai because I would want to curate it as much as I could.
Yeah.
So I would take a lot of time to figure it out because that's a lot to figure out.
Yeah.
But at some point, if I feel like I made something correct, I might just join them. I might just go in there and be like, okay, I'm gonna be born as just a regular kid, and we'll see what happens. I'm
just gonna insert yourself into your own comic.
Yeah. And then I'll just go in there like a normal human.
Would you have any memory of it?
I would say no. I would wipe it clean.
Would you like leave yourself a little breadcrumb trail of like you did all this and like you set your life up so that like you conveniently discover all that?
No, I wouldn't want to find out. I wouldn't want to see what it's like to live a normal life.
Yeah.
Because that makes it fair. Like the world I created, I put myself into.
You give yourself massive amounts of deja vu at certain things that you run into in life.
Well, let's say you go on like an Indiana Jones type adventure where it's like your face is on fucking carvings that are impossibly, deep in the earth.
Why'd I put the carvings there?
To fuck with you.
Entirely to fuck with you.
It's your face. And
you just think it's coincidence.
Only shit you understand, just to get your mortal, like, reincarnated self to think, like, what the fuck?
I mean, I guess if I wanted to play tricks on myself like that...
Would you?
I don't think so, because like I said, I would want myself to see what a normal life is like. Play my hand at the cards that I dealt everybody else.
Who knows? This might have been the fucking case for somebody out there.
Maybe this is the world
that is the world that happened. Kai's just, like, secretly been God the whole time.
He just doesn't know because
he's trying to get us to pick up on it. Dude, you were God and you made me drive across the state.
To pick you up so we could play Mario Kart together.
Dude, if that's the case, I'm God and I still let myself get depression.
Man, you fucked up.
Alright, we sticking on this one or we want to move to another one?
We move to this one.
That was Luke's, so it moves on to you now, right?
Me, yes. Alright. Do I want to go serious?
We can just bring it really stupid now.
I might bring it stupid. Because that was a long, important talk.
Potatoes or tomatoes?
Yeah, fuck that, because there's a super easy answer.
Potatoes or tomatoes.
Definitely.
Exactly, that's the problem. Nick, if you say you prefer tomatoes over potatoes, you're not going to wake up tomorrow.
You don't know what Jimmy is.
As long as I got the time. Well, yeah, he does.
Oh.
He could take a wild guess, and it doesn't mean he gets one try.
Like, why are we assuming I get to open one door and if it's not Nick, I just have to. I open one door. Oh, it's not Nick's room. Well, gotta try again next time I'm here.
But it's potatoes, right, Nick?
It fucking depends. I don't want potatoes, I guess, for like my dipping sauce for my.
No, it's just like which one though?
In general, or
if you had to bite into one, which one is better?
Just to bite straight into one? Yep. That might be different.
I'm gonna defy physics here and it's just
I'm going potato. Fuck tomatoes.
Like, I've had both. They're kind of the same to me. There's a lot more uses for potato. I'll say that, but like, I eat tomatoes on the reg.
I do not, because they're fucking disgusting and abominations to God.
They're good for your heart.
I don't know about that much. I just like potatoes a lot more. And you're God, that's right.
Yeah, that's we're still on the anyway.
Dude, I'm eating the one thing that Kai as God didn't create, and I enjoy it.
His Lucifer got it.
Dude, yeah, I become the Lucifer of Kai's universe.
All right,
and I'm not even like a bad guy. I'm just like I like all the things he doesn't.
All right, my question. This is going to be much more lighthearted. You have the option to either completely restart the MCU, but you get to fix the mistakes that happened along the way, or you get to completely undo the MCU and we only get the DCEU. But it's likely to be better. Not guaranteed, though.
So it's basically like, would you rather have a proper MCU or just the DCU?
But it has a chance of the DCEU being better.
Chance, but not guaranteed.
It is not guaranteed.
But does fixing the mistakes of the MCU guarantee that it's better?
No, it is what you think is better for the MCU.
Well, I think I know. I think that I know what is better for the MCU.
So do I.
We're talking about the movies, right? Cinematic universe.
Strictly the cinematic universe.
But I get the DCU in my fixed one too.
You don't get it. You don't
get it. It's just one or the other.
It restarts, and you're gonna get pretty much all the same movies, but there's a chance that they're gonna be better.
Okay.
But I never said how. It could be they could just cut some filler from one movie and then the other movie. It's a complete rewrite that makes it so much better. There's no chance of it being worse though.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I don't think there is a chance of it being worse.
I mean, yeah.
But so just to be clear, in the one where we fix MCU, the DCU just still exists just as it is.
Yeah, it still sucks.
Well, I'm just gonna take that because like there's always a chance somebody else could turn it around, and basically up until like the end of Phase 2, I liked the MCU.
I mean, this is another thing of like working on movies and that many movies. Even though like I could just say do this, this, and this, and then be the director, but like just kind of do it casually.
Yeah.
Tell them what to do. I feel like that would be a lot of pressure, and people might get mad at me if they don't like it.
Well, I mean, you're not gonna please everybody, but objectively, it'll be better.
By my eyes.
Well, by your eyes, but also like there are things that were expected of it to happen, and the reason people hate it right now is because they did not do those things. Like generally, everybody, even though like everyone's got their own preference, they fucked it. Because like I don't know why, and there's no real justification for it. So like you just basically would be doing the patchwork for that.
I think I would go with the DC one just because I wouldn't have to do any work, and then I just get to watch more DC movies.
I miss out on so many characters though. Fucking you can't just have like one.
Marvel movies will still exist, but there will never be an MCU.
Okay, so they're not like all linked together.
No, so you can get like an Iron Man movie at some point. You can get a Hulk movie, but there's never gonna be like an Avengers.
They'll never.
Okay.
Well, that kind of takes the fun out of it though, because it seems like they were building towards that was what made it exciting.
True, but there's still movies like Blade.
I wouldn't mind if it was just those like more standalone, like one series is its own series.
Can we get? I'll take that deal if we get one Avengers movie.
You can get one eventually.
I'll take one eventually. Everything else.
Once Marvel movies are done and done.
Are you playing Monopoly? Why are you bargaining?
Once Marvel movies have decided to just be done and done, they're probably not going to make any more. They'll allow them all to cross over into one big movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Because then that's not a universe. That's just like
it's a movie. Yeah, it's a crossover movie.
Okay, on that note, I have my next one. Would you rather live in a universe that has like actual like superpowered magical beings like in the DCU scale, or live in like a kick-ass universe where people still try to be superheroes and shit, but nobody has powers? They're all just as gullible and like fleshy and totally weak as you are, but everyone seems to be into this trend of like get a gimmick and be a superhero.
I'm way into the kick-ass one. And I'm pushed far away from the superhero one, because superhero one means that there's going to be probably big evils too.
There are.
And that would just fuck up a lot of stuff.
There's like DC metal level, like there's like the Batman who laughs who just eventually becomes like an evil eldritch god level.
Fucking imagine you're just like chilling in your house one day, you look out your window and Bane's chucking your car at Batman.
Yeah.
That is gonna fuck up your
week. At Batman.
The condition is you don't get to be either in both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you're not like a Batman-esque type in the Kick-Ass one, and you don't get superpowers in the other one. You just have to watch.
I think definitely not the superhero one.
I'm taking Kick-Ass.
And the Kick-Ass one would be so fun and funny.
It would.
Like, because I don't even have to endanger myself. I could just watch other people be dumbasses on the streets.
And like, I feel like my point very much stands of you look out your window and fucking Bane's throwing your car, your whole month is fucked up.
Yeah. I would watch the news so much more if kick-ass type stuff was real.
Imagine the insurance premiums with superhero stuff around.
Yeah.
I guess I would too, because the other thing about the DC universe is they still have to keep this kind of noble ass, like, superheroes are just as, like, glorified as they are in comic books, and we'll never get any of the closest thing to the boys, which is in Kick-Ass. Like, you'll never get to see Homelander make somebody deaf because he felt like it in the DC universe, because that's just not how they operate.
Yeah.
You'll never see, like, the funny out-of-pocket shit like that. But you'll get kind of a close thing to it with, like, Big Daddy shoving grenades up people's ass in the Kick-Ass one. And there's a small chance you'll get to see it up close, too. Like, it's almost superheroes, but not quite. Have you ever seen or heard of Nemesis?
The Resident Evil character?
No. The less popular Nemesis. He's basically, if Batman had, like, the mind of Joker, Not in like that there's any powers, but he was like stranded in the Kick-Ass universe. So
Yeah, he has
he
the
just
launcher, he sets towers, he hunts the
yeah.
police officer.
So he's just this really famous, like powerful, like kind of mafia guy. And the main character of Nemesis, like the comic book, is this Commissioner Gordon stand-in, and Nemesis's whole fucking motive is just to troll him, like for life. So he makes his children involuntarily conceive a child.
Damn.
And like fucking mows down all of his friends and family in like a final standoff. He spends years training just to like do the whole Batman like, psych, I already thought this out before you. And it's just like really gritty, even though it does kind of turn out better for the knockoff Gordon in the end. Like he has to live with his entire life knowing that he got trolled by Batman, basically. There's a lot more fucked up shit than he does, but that's like the tip of the iceberg. But I'll get to see shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
You want to?
In the Kick-Ass universe, yeah.
You know, that'd be sick as hell to see people...
As long as it wasn't happening to me. I just want a show, man.
I have to, I guess, be more concerned about Nick in the future, now that I know this matter.
Probably.
Well, I'm not gonna do anything.
I think that's the problem. I think that might be the problem.
I just like seeing it. I mean, but also I'll get to see all the other funny shit. You guys admitted to it. Like, there's a lot of fucked up shit in Kick-It. A man gets burned alive in that movie, and you totally accepted it.
I don't remember the movie.
Well, a man gets burned alive.
Cool.
Luke, I believe it's your turn.
Rapidly and urgently moving on.
Okay, so for this next one, I am going to start it by asking you a question before you get to know the question.
Okay.
But, like, before you get to know the hypothetical.
Okay.
Name a skill, like a realistic skill that you would like to learn.
Farting. Shit. Farting.
Like mastery level, if possible.
Music theory.
I guess fucking, like, parkour.
With those in mind, would you rather instantly be able to just know the mastery of it, and maybe if you work your way up even further, you can be the best in the world or whatever,
okay,
but you have instant mastery of that? Or would you rather have the resources, the financial like stability and time completely, those are no problems, and be able to do it yourself, have the experiences of learning it, like work your way up to it on your own? You might be able to get to mastery level if you're committed enough to it, if you're passionate about it. The thing is, if you take the instant mastery, you probably won't be as passionate about it because you didn't work your way up to it. You just get it, and you might take it for granted.
Okay, so as I understand it, like that one skill we named, you can have instant mastery of it, or did you say like take the time and learn it?
Yeah, like you basically get a more human experience out of it, where you make like memories, you kind of learn your own niche of it, you have your own style of it, you meet people along the way that have more interest in it, and you get a more fulfilling experience out of that.
But you're not guaranteed to master it.
No, but you have the resources available to get you there if you want to, if you're committed to it. Or you just snap your fingers and then you get it, but you might not have love for it.
I already have my answer.
Okay.
It goes back to the whole God versus mortal thing. Like, without fucking, like, learning through it and enduring the experience, like, there's no point. You might as well have done nothing, because you just have that, and, like, yeah, if you want to reap the benefits of it, I guess, like, go for it. But the important thing is, like, all life is memories. At the end of it, like, all you're gonna have to look back on is, like, those experiences. And reaching that will be so much more satisfying than just like having it when you need it, because you'll also have it by the end of that point too. And it's good to struggle, it's good to like try, fail, and then like finally succeed. In the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, no, it is like coming, I am like coming.
I was thinking the same thing.
Give me the instant mastery. Here's my thing.
To be contrarian to him.
Yes, it's entirely because fuck you, Nick. I have been learning music theory for years, and I'm getting better, obviously, and things have come and gone because of that. But the big thing is the actual learning of music theory has not been very fun. Now, every time I work on a new piece of music, every time I am working on improving an old one, that is so much fun. But I am not having fun in the learning portion. That's just for me personally.
Yeah.
I don't find enjoyment in learning.
So you think because you've already had kind of the experience of it, you would just want to like get it over with so that you know where you're at, you can do good stuff, you have the passion for it, obviously.
Yes.
And then like you just make it there without the struggle anymore.
Yes. So obviously I think that if you don't have now if I had picked a skill that I have nothing in, then I would have agreed with Nick that having that experience, especially, would have been like amazing. Knowing what I know about music theory now was made some things easier that I've known for a while. But since I know music theory to a good point already, I would take the instant mastery of it.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I'll concede, like, for something specifically like music theory, where it's just, like, helpful for, I guess, your hobby or your career or just, like, enjoying it, yeah, that would be awesome if people just instantly knew how to do that. And I think, like, some people, that is the case for them with, like, just kind of, like, natural talent and just, like, they have a knack for it.
Yeah.
But if it was... And I guess Kai and I effectively just agree at the end of the day. Because of this, if it's something like parkour for me, which I have no fucking skill in, and I'd like to learn it, I don't have a use for it if I just like, boom, I know how to do it.
No, you take the hits. You learn how to tumble. You learn everything well.
That's half the fun.
You get that experience, and yeah, that's where the fun comes from. For me, with music theory, learning just means making another piece of music you aren't proud of.
Yeah, it's the whole artist thing. It's like, you know, an artist's work is never like truly finished. They just stop writing.
My follow-up, and I'll put my input into this because I was thinking about this a while ago, and I have an answer for it. Now that you know what the hypothetical is, the would you rather, if you could change the skill, would it change your answer? Would you choose something else to have the other thing? So my answer would be, I would take the instant mastery and do it for culinary arts.
Okay.
So, because I don't have that much of a passion for making food, preparing food, I enjoy it, but it's not driving my life. It's not what I wake up for in the morning. Right. So if I could just instantly know how to make fantastic food with the right ingredients, I would take that, and it wouldn't change my life for the worse in any way. I would just have a new skill.
So for me, that kind of is the case, actually. Not saying like I'm naturally born like a god of culinary arts. I'm the Iron Chef, but I have kind of spent a lot of time meticulously learning on my own in my own time, like how to cook better and just be generally a good chef and have a sense of taste. And like a lot of it's expensive, and I fucked up a lot, and like, you know, there's things that I'll never try again, and there's things that I'd love to try like right now, and it's just a matter of like time and budgeting for it. But I wouldn't trade any of those either, because it's like I probably wouldn't have the same appreciation of it that I do if I had to just like, boom, I had it, and then like I can just do whatever I want.
Yeah. And if I was in the position of you guys where I didn't know the hypothetical at first and I just chose a skill that I would like to master, I probably would have chosen, you know, painting, what I do.
Yeah.
And once I heard the hypothetical, I would have said I don't want instant mastery, because I would have been like Nick, where I want the experiences still. I haven't gotten to the point where I think I just need it done.
Absolutely.
Maybe at a certain point I would want to take the choice that you chose, Kai, but I'm just not there yet, and I would still want to keep the experience and just like, I could have my school covered. I could have like, I don't need to worry about anything else for a while. I could just do art and figure it out more. Yeah. If you know the resources.
No, if I wasn't where I currently am with music theory, I would have chosen to not take it, because I feel you definitely need that. But because of where I am with it, I definitely would rather get the instant mastery.
Yeah.
Now, would I choose something else to get the instant mastery? None of that? No. I want to learn skills, and I don't have any that I care enough about to want to master that don't interest me in some way that I wouldn't want to learn about them the hard way.
So would you change your answer in the other way, where you just get all the time and the money that you need to master something else with the effort to put in?
So for that one, I would easily choose game design.
Okay.
Because it was on sale. This is fairly new. RPG Maker was on sale.
Yeah.
So I bought it, and I have been working on making that game I was talking to Nick about a while ago, just like a prototype for it.
Yeah.
It's not going well. But I'm sure it will. I'm sure I can get somewhere with it eventually.
In that case, I actually think I do agree with you. If that was the new skill that I could choose, I think I would agree with Kai that I would like instant mastery, because that's something I've always wanted to do too, and I know next to nothing about it.
You know, I'm starting from scratch.
So that's one that you would want to take instant.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm taking that with the time and money, because right now my biggest hurdle is I have everything else in my life to worry about.
Yeah.
So I'm not able to put more than a few hours a day into it, which is still good. I'm learning.
Yeah.
But I'm not able to put all that much time into it.
I stand by that, like, I am actually sacrificing all of the satisfaction of, like, learning and trial and error of making games, and even some that I probably still would enjoy and like to revisit, by just taking the instant skill. But from where I stand, and just for the instant gratification of it, like, that I would love to get started right away, I'm taking it purely because I'd probably be fucking cranking them out.
In my mind, I have 4 different games I want to make, like that I already have like partially planned out, not like just like base ideas. I have like 4 games that I really want to make.
Yeah.
And I just don't have. I need to learn before I can even think about it. I'm honestly surprised this has gone this long.
We got to go through all the races.
Well, yeah, no, not like not recording this, but like just the amount of questions we've had.
Yeah, we had.
This is the deep episode.
This is my favorite episode.
Is this one? So far. This one is just gonna be called The Deep, and people are gonna think we're talking about The Boys. Speaking of The Boys, though,
we go deep inside of each other on this episode.
No, that's the Patreon only one.
We have a new Patreon opening today.
Only friends.
So my hypothetical is, again, I'm gonna take things to. That's kind of been my MO this whole time, is taking things to a much later level.
Okay.
Would you rather live in a world with a Homelander-esque character? However, he's not guaranteed to be as evil. He's just got that power.
And it could change him however it happens.
It could corrupt him just like it did Homelander. But we do have a way to stop him. It just would be like the big nuclear deterrent that could probably fuck up.
Taking him out to international waters and trying to feed it to him.
You would have to try and do it that way. Otherwise, you're just fucking up everybody. Or you have an Omni-Man.
Take the loss of a city and blow it up.
Yeah. Or you have an Omni-Man.
Okay.
Which in this scenario, he's not trying to cull the planet for his species to take over.
Yeah.
He is simply someone who is there protecting it from evil only because it is convenient for him. Having these villains run around is simply an inconvenience for him. So if he stops giving a shit about that,
he's just occupying Earth, and like other people are invading his space.
Yeah, but
so he says.
Yeah.
I feel like the mistrust of both would probably prompt them to react.
But with him, if he stops giving a shit, everyone's gonna take over. Everyone that he's stopping is gonna take over, or he's gonna start realizing that he can just, not realizing, but he's gonna take care into the thought of, I can just kind of do whatever the fuck I want, can't I?
Because it's kind of like the whole, like, would you rather have a bully that overlooks you, but, you know, is still the big dog in town and keeps people off your back, or would you rather, like, have the bully that targets everyone and just, like, stay out of his way?
I think I kind of have to defer to Nick on this one, just because I don't know much about Omni-Man, since I haven't watched much of Invincible.
Omni-Man is Invincible's dad. That's the whole thing, is Kai basically just gave the TLDR of it. He's like the fucking hippie of his race, because he came to Earth to actually, like, breed with humans and take it over into, like, a colony for his people. And he came from a different planet, like Superman, and, like, having a family and raising it, kind of loses sight of that for a while and forgets about the whole objective that he's there for, and just suddenly remembers it later. He's fundamentally, like, warped by his training and his society, but he's like the hippie that kind of forgets about it for a little bit, and that's the conflict within him. So he's not really bad, he's just extremely conflicted.
Okay.
Versus Homelander, who is like, was born out of shit circumstances, and I assume by Kai's hypothetical that it's probably similar circumstances.
Yes.
It's not some magical alien with, like, a higher understanding than we are.
Trying to take the odds that he might be better.
Yes. Just, like, hoping. Because even Homelander, like, even though he's on the negative side of things,
he has some good points.
He's still a human, you know, so there are actually people that he's like the bully that overlooks things. Like, he's outwardly a bully instead of somebody who just doesn't have any beef with you right now.
And he would be the only one with the power in this one.
Yes, so it's not like the
Omni-Man has the enemies.
He could still do everything, all the damage that Omni-Man could, just, like, maybe slightly slower. I think I would probably take the Omni-Man one, because as, like, an alien, like, in part of a larger universe, like, it means that there's probably something out there that could go close to toe-to-toe with him. And, fucking, I guess if we're cashing in on the whole, somebody could split you in half by looking at you. I'd rather take the big fish in a small pond, or the small fish in a big pond thing than, a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
I feel like I might be inclined for the other one, for taking Homelander, just because that would be less of a total threat, overall.
Yeah. We do stand a very small chance, because we could fucking, blast his ass out in the ocean. Say it doesn't work for a second, you are fucked. Mm-hmm. You have nobody else out there to defend you. There is no fucking invincible in that world,
Kiss your dad goodbye.
Yes. Right on the mouth.
One of the big things is that with Homelander, even in the world of the boys, the rest of the 7 can't do shit against him. Whereas with Omni-Man, he fought the Guardians of the Globe and won, but a large portion of that was catching them by surprise and them not knowing what the hell was going on and not wanting to kill their friend.
Yeah.
It took till near the end that they were just like, all right, it's either him or us.
The other thing about Omni-Man is I think he would be more hesitant to actually cut loose on humanity, considering it's a convenience for him.
Yeah.
And he's spent real time by actually living a real life.
Yeah.
Whereas
might have more value.
You're really kind of setting him up for failure if you have a Homelander type that's fucking an experiment in a lab that doesn't know what it's like to be human.
Yeah.
And he just pretends to be. I think that's a recipe for disaster, because Homelander is clearly an example of fucking nurture versus nature.
Yeah.
In the comics, they kind of corroborate this. It's fucking worse there, but the first mother figure he ever had, because he fucking tore his way out of his actual mother at birth. The first mother figure he ever had, he crushed her in half by hugging her. Just not trying. He just wanted to know what it was like to hug somebody, and fucking killed her, and then they stopped treating him like a human. So that immediately, assuming he probably will go through something like that, is the invitation for disaster.
I want to point this out. This is very separate. I brought up the boys, and so whenever I bring up the boys, I have to bring this up. The boys has what is my second favorite comic panel ever, and that
don't say it.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
There is a moment in the comics where I call him Omni-Man. Holy shit! Homelander is fucking someone, and he comes so hard that they blow up.
That can stay in.
I've been waiting for them to do that in the show.
Right. Here's my thing. I don't think they're going to, because he's already he's got a kid and shit.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to. I will throw out real quick that my favorite comic panel is from a Tarzan comic where he drop kicks a dinosaur. he drop kicks a T-Rex in the face, and it works.
He didn't know it was going to work either.
No, he was entirely he believed in himself, but it was very much a thing of, I kind of need this to work. If it doesn't work, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Because this is a dinosaur.
Tarzan is so whack.
I'm dinosaur, right?
He beat the Phantom of the Opera, Batman, and the Predator all in fights.
Canon?
Yes, these are canon comics.
I mean, also Arnold Schwarzenegger beat the Predator too, so it's
okay, 1, it was an army soldier. 2, it was a young, inexperienced Predator.
That's true.
The ones that Tarzan beat were fully grown.
Well, it makes more sense, because Tarzan, right?
Yeah.
He was literally raised, trained, and shared the same diet as gorillas, who are, in terms of pure strength, humans can't even consider themselves on the same level.
There was a thing where Mike Tyson wanted to pay a zoo to let him fight a gorilla, and they wouldn't let him because they knew he was gonna die.
Because he's gonna die.
But he was he was convinced he would win. I kind of wish they would have let him.
Just to let him pay for
he
it.
just wouldn't be around.
That's
we wouldn't
the thing,
have
though.
Mike Tyson anymore.
You let him.
The gorilla would fucking grab his leg and fold it into his face.
You let him become the legend who tried to fist fight a gorilla.
Because Mike Tyson can punch. That's his big thing. He doesn't really know much fighting.
He can
other
punch
than that,
he can punch at peak human capability.
I need to double check this. I know at one point he did. I think he still has the strongest punch ever recorded.
Yeah.
Would he just try to use punches, or would he try to do some other fighting tactic?
He tried to knock it out, but I've seen gorilla skulls in a laboratory setting. Their skull alone is stronger, thicker, and denser than the strongest bone in the human body.
Correct.
Which is the femur and the hip. It's as dense as those. There's no, it's like you can't do anything. You would have to sacrifice your wrist and your arm and just punch and like let the bone stab them in the eye or something if you had any chance of like blinding them. And not even beating them, just blinding them. Sorry, what was your hypothetical?
No, we were on the Omni-Man Homelander one,
Oh, yeah.
but then I brought up the comic panel thing, and then I had to drop the Tarzan panel.
Oh, that was the last race.
Really?
We're ending on the Homelander panel, and then talking about Mike Tyson.
Could be in wrong. White people.
Do you remember the fucking bonfire when there was like you're supposed to say I hate white rabbits?
What?
Okay.
I think I remember that.
I don't. You might not have been there yet. I was at Darian's and we were having like a little fire, and the smoke kept blowing in people's faces. And I think it was his mom said you're supposed to say I hate white rabbits. And
I think I've heard that before.
I never heard of it, but it's supposed to be a thing of it makes the smoke go away, whatever.
Yeah.
So it started blowing in my face, and I just screamed, I hate white people. And then everyone just stared at me. I'm like, I did not mean that.
Didn't get a single laugh?
No, I got a lot of laughs, but like everyone's like, what the fuck? And then started laughing.
I really like making fun of any group that I'm a part of.
That was entirely the joke.
I'd just probably start crying if if you did choke out Luke.
Wouldn't even try and stop.
Try to get away. Just go for me next.
Is there anything you'd like to say to end off this episode? We had many great discussions here.
I'm extremely proud of myself for not bringing up Death Battle once.
You just did it.
Yeah, but like this don't count.
Okay.
I did not discuss it one time. If either of you had let me, this entire podcast would have been about it.
I was thinking about just letting you have an outlet to talk about it.
Dude, I looked at your shirt and I was thinking, like, this gonna come up.
We have an episode topic.
I might as well say
if you ever
something.
come back.
I'm never coming back from that. But no,
In fact, we can't be friends anymore.
that is always an easy way to just get me talking.
Yeah.
Because I have so many opinions.
Bye. I don't know why I waved. There's no fucking camera.
Peace.